Well, I can remember that quite well because I was on the jetty at Manly with friends. It was early in the evening, and we were usually after a boat race. I used to be a keen sailor. I loved the water. I'm a Cancerian, so you can imagine I loved the water. And we were out there, we usually went, and after we came in from sailing and that, we'd get onto the jetty and we'd have just a few eats and then we'd take off home. It was there that we heard the war had broken out and there was silence everywhere. We were wondering what was going to happen, what was ahead of us. That was the worst part because we had never, been actually involved in any wars. I joined the services. I was with a group of about 14. We were the first lot to join in Queensland. I joined the Navy mainly because, as I say, I was a keen sailor. I was always on the war. And then I was starting to develop a friendship with this chap, my husband, Colin. And when he joined up in the Navy. And that's where the romance started. Well, I wondered why they were thrilling with this few girls, what they were going to do with us. So my girlfriend, Audrey, and I were the ones to be chosen to go up to headquarters in Brisbane, Queen Street, and which was our officer there was Captain Thomas. And they wondered what they'd do with us. And first of all, I said, oh, well, looks likely we're to put them on to make us a cup of tea or something. So it was funny to go in and wondering what these men had these women and they didn't know what to do with us. So anyhow, we realised they put us into what they call the signals department. And from there, I won't go along with it there, but from there, this is where it started. We got into the signal department, and later on, I was sent up to where the AMP building in Queensland, in Brisbane, Queensland, and this is where we started to learn some of the coding work. And we had to work with the Americans. And my girlfriend Audrey and I, we were sort of put in what they called a special unit. And it was very hush-hush at the time. It was a special room up in the AMP building in Brisbane, and there was only about 3 or 4 of us there. And we were put into, if there was anything, I think there was the first bomb dropped in Townsville, which was a surveillance one with the Japanese. And I can remember being there on the watch at night. And when that happened, no matter where we were, the girls on the telephonists, they were always civilians. But when there was anything on like that, they had to be taken over by the staff, some of the RANs. So I was on the one night at Townsville, and that was an emergency. Fortunately, but it caused a bit of creation at the time. You know, all communications, we had to go down as telephonists and disconnect everything. And that was quite exciting at the time. Well, we were 6 months before they got us in uniform, and then we were in khaki for daytime, which was a simple dress, brown hat, brown shoes, brown stockings. But for winter or dress occasion, we had a rather attractive black suit or navy suit with double-breaster and slacks and also skirt, and the hat and shoes to match, and of course the dark stockings too. But it was quite a smart outfit for the girls. But as I say, it was 6 months with just the white band on the sleeve with rands on it. For 6 months, we didn't have a uniform or anything to put on. And I, being sick at that time, had a privilege that I went home and stayed at home. I didn't have to go into Moreton and sleep there. So I missed out on a lot of the frivolities, and I think at the time, having a stingue. We worked from the Queen Street down the bottom of Queen Street somewhere with Captain's office. So Audrey, my girlfriend, and I, that's where we were held for the time. And then we worked between there and the AMP buildings, which was the section of the Americans part of it. And that's where we started to get into the special coding outfit, which was quite interesting at the time. I vaguely got some recollection that the Japanese were starting to come down. And I know my husband, he was on the Shropshire at the time, and I knew he was up further where the Japanese were, and they started to come down and come closer towards the coast. And this is where the exciting part was. The Americans came to our aid, and we were lucky because the Japanese were coming down so far. And in the department where I was, I heard in the secretive part that we were only going to hold out to Townsville, and we were going to let the Japanese have down as far as Townsville, and then we'd start to protect the rest of the country. And that was the part that was a bit scaring at the time, and it was worrying. We wanted to know what was going to happen. And about every 3 weeks I'd hear from the secretive part where we used to go at night with this coding. We used to have to go and have a look in the big planted room where the map was, and of course they used to say to me, "That's where your husband is." When I got to know Laurie and them, they used to tell me where he was. So it was always a bit worrying, especially when we knew the Japanese were coming down fairly close. I suppose that was the part that worried me more than anything. I suppose when you look through it and that, there was some horrible things, as you said. I forgot about the bomb dropping and all of that. And I don't know, as I say, I suppose with the work we were doing, we were segregated away from a lot of people. And when we did go home, living at home and having to travel up and down, I was always so darn tired. I was glad to just go down home and sleep. And with what we were doing, it was all hush-hush. Our Navy boys, our boys, they hated the Americans, and if any of us girls were seen going out of hours and being escorted, they used to hate it, and they'd let us know, so we're always aware of this because we had some Americans in offices down quite close to where we were. And it's only natural if we went past, we were always friendly with them and that. But the boys, if they saw us with Americans, they didn't like it. They were very jealous, I think.